Hey guys, so I know a lot of you have gotten the DeWalt Infeeds, and there was a little bit of confusion about the table saw. These were designed for the DWE 74911, but they will work on pretty much any DeWalt table saw with a slight modification, and I want to show you how to do that right now. Now, because I don't have your saw in the shop, I'm going to show you how it works, and then you can take it from there if you want. My laser's going off. And of course, if you don't want, we're happy to take them back and refund your money. So right up here, you can see how this one fits on this saw here. If you've made the modifications for the screw holes, so these two screws can go in the holes, and then the clamp comes right here and tightens it down. So if your saw has a higher ledge than this, what you can do is, first of all, just go ahead and mark where the silver portion is here, that aluminum, mark that on the bottom of your saw. And then flip this over and set it flat on the fence like this, so it's level. And then in this case, I'm going to pretend like it's sitting a little higher, and then mark it where it's level with the top of the table right there. So what we're going to want to do is measure the distance from the top to right here, or you can just do that with your, or you can just take it over to your table saw, and I'll show you what to do next. All right, so first you're going to want to take out the two machine bolts that go in here. Obviously you don't want to run those through your saw blade. So basically all we're going to do is just shave off a little bit of that bottom and match that height. And we can do that right with the table saw that you bought the Infeed for. So next step is just to raise the height up to that line, or perhaps a little bit past it. Now if you have to take more than a sliver off, you'll want to take the handle off as well. But in this case, I think we're going to be all right. So just come up a little bit past that line and bring your fence over. Now I have the line on the front here, so I'm lining that gap up with this line right here. Lock it down. Now I know some of you guys have already caught on to what we're doing, and if that's the case, obviously you don't need to finish watching the video, but for those of you who are new to this, I'm going to go ahead and run this through, shave off that bit of material, and that's going to narrow this up. Now it will still work the same. I put the bolts back in. It'll still work the same. It'll still line everything up like it's supposed to, you know, down the miter slot here, and it will be the proper height, so you'll have a nice smooth transition from here to here. Now that hole right here goes 1/4 inch deep, so you can take off about up to 3/8 of an inch off of this. You don't want to go more than 3/8 of an inch. If you go all the way up to the 1/4 inch mark, then you're going to have a problem, so be careful about that. So 3/8 is kind of like your max. You don't want to go any further than that. But if you do go like that far, then I would say when you put the bolts back in, maybe put a little super glue in there or some epoxy in there just to give it a little bit of extra help. What I didn't mention is before taking everything out, there's cork rubber right here, I took that off of here. So if you have a little tear out like that, you shouldn't if your blade is sharp. This is a very old blade in here. Just go ahead and knife it off. Put your bolts back in and you should be good to go. There you go. So there's a really simple modification. And if you have other saws besides the DWE 47911, it can work on your saw, but you do have to put the effort in to make that modification. Now that being said, if you have that saw and it feels like it's a little bit proud of the top, the mounting structure for the aluminum guide here can move like up to like a 1/16, slightly more than a 1/16 of an inch. And it's impossible for me to make every one of those match your particular saw because those are going to be different depending on who put them together or on any number of equations. So if that feels like it's a little high, same process you just saw right there with yours. We'll get yours right nice and tuned in. And then I want to also mention that you cannot move this fence once it is clamped in place. So if you want to use this with the fence, you can do that, but you're limited to about right there. So anything that's roughly, let me get you a measurement so you know. So basically anything that's 14 inches or more, you can use this to help stabilize that infeed with it. Beyond that, it's only good for like using jigs and miter gauges on. Or you can put it on the other side. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this helps solve some of your issues. Also, you know, this does work with most DeWalts. In fact, I don't know of one that it wouldn't work with if you modify it. But you have to go through that process. And again, if you don't want to, send it back and we'll take care of you. Thanks for watching.